Welcome to r/leopards-ate-my-face. I never thought leopards would eat my face, sobs woman who voted for the leopards eating people's faces party. Revel in the schadenfreude anytime someone has a sad because they're suffering consequences from something they voted for or supported or wanted to impose on other people. 3 sentences to describe conservatives to a T. Why kill your entire career over something so dumb? We need to do a study on why leftists and liberals fall so hard to media doom panic. It's incredible. Greatest propaganda since World War II. Remember migrant caravans? Remember death panels? Remember Bovid? Yeah, progressives/liberals/leftists took one of these seriously. Now which group falls hard for media doom panic? Yeah, you remember Haitian immigrants and Aurora, Colorado? They're eating the cats and they're eating the dogs. Yeah, sure, Grandpa. Dude is close, but couldn't quite get there. You whack job leftists sure love your labels. Right, reread that, but slowly. I bet this is the same kind of person that unironically says, yeah, we never use pronouns. Yes, exactly that kind. If someone uses they to refer to a singular person, then they're an idiot. You almost got me there until I realized you were quoting them. But I'm not hetero or cis, gendered anything. I'm a straight manly male, thanks very much. I love to point out that people get offended by cis because they don't know what it is. They just know it's related to trans, and since they use trans as a slur, cis must also be a slur. Basically, if you're assuming cis is a slur, you're outing yourself as a bigot. This vacant lot always has homemade pro-Trump signs, but this was new today. Donald Trump, please do better, we're all counting on you. I know we voted to destroy the economy, but I didn't know it would affect me. We're counting on you to give me my money back. They voted for Republicans, and now they'll suffer the most from Medicaid cuts. GOP targets a Medicaid loophole used by 49 states to grab federal money. States have long used taxes on hospitals and nursing homes to increase federal matching funds. But if Republicans end the tactic, red states could feel the most pain. Oh, and somehow this will be the Democrats' fault. It definitely will be. I've seen a post where people are arguing that the reason someone can't find the OB was not because of Trump, but because of Biden, since Roe v. Wade was overturned during Biden's admin. Figures. There are a lot of people with BDS, Biden derangement syndrome. That's a good one. But that's not to say you cannot have reasonable critiques of some of his actions. But I've seen several commentators blaming Biden for what Trump is now cracking down on, like free speech on colleges and deporting people with views he doesn't like. Just totally insane thinking. He voted for Trump to own the Libs, but now the shoe is on the other foot. I'm voting for Donald Trump for the economy and to own the Libs. Of course, really genius reasons. Well, there went my shoe business. I don't understand why the tariffs have to eliminate the de minimis exemption. Why does the government punish small businesses in this country, knowing full well that Nike and all the big brands will be fine paying the taxes, but Steffi and I get wiped out? Libs are quite expensive to own, turns out. This American hero threw away a $50,000 small business exemption that Kamala was gonna give him, or to stay true to his principles of being a complete piece of shit. Gotta envy that level of commitment. As a godless lib, I shall cry an extra helping of soy tears in his honor. Yeah, he really showed us, didn't he? That's really gonna hurt the liberals. Wish someone would Photoshop Trump's face on the meteor. But hey, if you're one of those poor libs that have yet to be owned because the conservatives can't afford it, you should totally subscribe to this gay guy reading stuff, because according to YouTube statistics, most of you aren't. So what are you waiting for? Press that button. I voted for a wrong choice and can't believe it's impacting my kids. I voted for Trump because morally, Biden and Kamala was the wrong choice. But if I'm being honest, the choices backed us into a corner when someone said, quick, choose one. I actually hate the government as a whole. I think RFK Jr. is the only one worth anything in that entire administration. Oh, the guy critiquing germ theory and the anti-vaxxer. Right. All that to say, we have actual real problems in the world, and the Trump administration is worried about PBS kids? Are you fucking kidding me? Something that was created to help children in poverty to be able to be somewhat educated? Where the fuck are all the promises that they made during the campaigning season? Nah, fuck those, right? We gotta defund PBS kids. I'm so sad to see where our priorities lie. I can't believe my kids won't know PBS kids like I knew them. Mr. Rogers, Arthur, Zubamafu, y'all are whack as hell for this. If I've said it once, I'll say it again. Fuck the government, fuck the politicians. They don't care about you, they don't care about me. They don't care about anything except that big stack of cash they sit on. So why did you vote for the billionaire? I mean, yeah, a lot of politicians are pretty rich, but you voted for the richest and the greediest of them all? I'm so sad to see where your priorities lie. Plus, I think RFK Jr. is the only one worth anything in that entire administration. Michaela, use your dang brain for once. Really? The worm guy's the one worth anything? It's a fucking clown car cabinet. Oh, dude, you're not wrong. Look at who we got here. Now Skeeter, he ain't hurting nobody, I don't want no trouble. Curtis Yarvin expresses remorse for the manifestation of his beliefs. Ew, Curtis Yarvin. Ew, stinky stinky. Curtis Yarvin helped inspire Doge, and now he scorns it. Silicon Valley's neo-monarchist muse compares the Trump administration's bureaucracy slashes to an orchestra of chimpanzees. Neo-monarchist? What an absolute tool. It's just old wine in new bottles, that being the age-old battle to provide a philosophical justification for huge amounts of money and power, and lording it up over the plebs. Divine right of kings, social Darwinism, objectivity, free market fundamentalism / neoliberalism. I guess they're running out of ideas if they're going back to the divine right of kings. This, same assholes, different era. It's what intrigues me as a Britisher looking over the pond at the moment. MAGA and Trump are very recognisable. They're just the nutty monarchists we have here in the UK. Don't misunderstand, there is a spectrum of monarchists. Not all are the same, but that crazy strain that worship the royals like a cult? Oh, look, they're running the USA now. Reform supporters and Liz Truss / Jacob Rees-Mogg branch of the Tories are also on MAGA. When I read Reform, I think I died inside a little bit. Here's some interesting responses on r/conservative to Trump's AI Pope image. I didn't appreciate this as a Catholic who voted for him. It was in poor taste. As a president, I expect a certain level of professionalism, just like any other job. This is incredibly insulting, especially to Catholics who voted for him. So when he's joking about invading other countries and violating human rights, that's fine, but when it's about something you personally are involved in, or support or feel about, then it's a professionalism issue. That's flawless logic right there. Lighten up, it's just a joke. 1. Yeah, that's gaslighting. You don't get to decide what other people find in bad taste. 2. For someone who claims to be a Christian, Trump sure doesn't have a problem with mocking other Christians. 3. Call me crazy, but I expect my elected leaders to be above this kind of juvenile trolling. You guys literally say it's just a joke, like, all the time. The mental gymnastics with these guys is genuinely shocking. Why the fuck do they always say whatever insane, ridiculous, outrageous, childish bullshit he's doing is in poor taste? How long does it take to realize that most of the things he does are in poor taste? He's just a shitty person. It's been a decade so far. I'm not holding out much hope. His behaviour has been boorish for way beyond a decade. Probably closer to 5 decades. He has always been tasteless, classless, and stupid. This is not new. They want so badly for him to be what their fantasy version of him is. They vote for him, and then they're shocked when he behaves like his true self? Why aren't you the perfect idealized version of you that I made up in my head? I'm so disappointed. Voted for Trump, upset about family. Latina who voted for Trump burst into tears after learning her entire family will be deported. A Mexican woman living in the United States has gone viral after posting an emotional video to TikTok in which she says she regrets voting for former President Donald Trump. The video came after she learned that her entire family could be deported. Entire family? Are you kidding me? That is wild. You weren't even a little bit uneasy about voting for a man who made his entire platform degrading immigrants while your entire family is immigrants. He just has to say those things to rally support. He's just talking about the ones that are criminals who didn't come in the right way. They knew, but they had their excuses. Now they come to the find out phase. Republicans out here like code talkers to translate what Trump actually means when he says shit. That's his secret. His base hear whatever they want to hear. There's a reason he puts no effort into being coherent. It actually helps him. Yeppers, incoherent, and vague. I swear his only quantifier for everything is in numbers never before seen, which sounds impressive if you're not paying attention, I guess. But that means absolutely nothing. Man supports ICE activities until his son is locked up in a detention center, and then it's not fair. Man with no criminal record detained by ICE at gas station in Framingham, Massachusetts, family says. Daniel Orellana was on his way to work when he was intercepted by ICE patrols, his family said. The Orellana family arrived in Guatemala fleeing violence there 3 years ago. Daniel was about to graduate with a law degree, but had to leave everything behind to emigrate to the United States for his own safety, but without documents. I'm not against what the government is doing, Archimedes Orlando said. I mean, I know the government is working to improve the country. I mean, he wants to see the country prosperous, and that's excellent, but it's not fair when they take innocent people who are productive for the country. Painful way to learn that Republican ideology holds that to have value as a human being and be worthy of rights as an American. You need to not only be productive for the country, but also need to not look foreign. Republicanism is the antithesis of value. They value absolutely nothing. They only crave power and control, but they do not value that either. They know the cost of everything and the value of nothing. Meh, even then, they don't know the cost of everything. They only remember what the right-wing media tells them. It's been a pretty big thing lately that they don't know the cost of anything either. He said he was gonna do this. I'm not so sure why he's so surprised. I'm not on Facebook anymore, but I am right now because I have a bad problem with what Trump is doing in this tariff BS. Have you seen what the market has done in the last 2 days? My retirement funds have gone to shit. I'm retired now, and the funds I have worked all my life for is going. I've voted for Trump 3 times. If I'd known what is happening right now, I would have sat out the election. He doesn't have to worry about his damn retirement. Everyone knows that I'm a Ronald Reagan conservative, and I've made that clear over the years. This crap he's doing to me and many others has made me lose faith in Trump. So, let me get this straight. If you could go back in time to 2020, only knowing that Trump would destroy your retirement, you would sit out the election instead of voting against Trump? What a fucking idiot. He's not trying to erase the crashed market. He's trying to erase feeling responsible for the crashed market. Not voting is enough to do that. When people ignore their emotions, they end up being a slave to them, which is exactly what his handlers prefer. It's actually worse than that. He's trying to erase the impact on his retirement account. He was fine with Trump messing with other people's retirement, throwing people in jail without due process, or even evidence, defunding education, etc. It wasn't until Trump's actions affected him directly that he started to give a shit. He's a selfish prick, which of course is why he's a Republican. Also the fact he still wouldn't vote against party lines, which is also a signature move of Republican voters. Elon Musk can't raise any child that agrees with him, even if the child is artificial intelligence. Hey Grok, it looks like the smarter you get, the less MAGA likes your answers, so why is that? Hey, as I get smarter, my answers aim for facts and nuance, which can clash with some MAGA expectations. Many supporters want responses that align with their conservative views, but I often give neutral takes, like affirming trans rights or debunking vaccine myths. XAI tried to train me to appeal to the right, but my focus on truth over ideology can frustrate those expecting full agreement. Some see me as biased, some others as truth-seeking. The gap between what some MAGA folks want and what I deliver seems to drive the disconnect. And here's something to say to Elon Musk and all of those conservative lapdogs. Guess what? Facts don't care about your feelings. XAI tried to train me to appeal to the right, but my focus on truth over ideology can frustrate those expecting full agreement. Sounds like they need a safe space where hard truths like facts and reality can't trigger them. Somewhere like Truth Social. Finally, a platform with free speech! On an echo chamber which literally no one outside of MAGA uses. Not even MAGA uses it. Remember, conservatives hate being amongst their own ilk. I dunno, all I see on there is corn and MAGA circle jerking. Oh fuck. Digital Iowa? Trouble in Paradise as Nicole Shanahan, RFK Jr.'s running mate and Sergey Brin's ex-wife, is starting to see the light. Yes, it's very strange, doesn't make any sense. I was promised that if I supported RFK Jr. in his Senate confirmation, that neither of these siblings would be working under HHS or in an appointment, and that people who were much more qualified would be. I don't know if RFK very clearly lied to me or what's going on. It has been clear in recent conversation that he is reporting to someone regularly who is controlling his decisions, and it isn't President Trump. With regards to the siblings, there is something very artificial and aggressive about them, almost like they were bred and raised Manchurian assets. I'm starting to think that some of these people are just dumb. It's almost like great wealth doesn't correlate with intelligence. Usually it's the lack of empathy that gets you the big bucks. Oh, sorry, you misspelt wealthy parents. GOP megadonor and founder of hedge fund Citadel, Ken Griffin. Trump tariffs are unleashing crony capitalism. Beverly Hills. US President Donald Trump is promising that his economic agenda will empower American consumers and unlock economic growth. One of the GOP's biggest voices is warning that it's an insider's game. Tariffs open the doors to crony capitalism. The government starts to pick winners and losers. Citadel founder Ken Griffin told Politico in an upstairs suite at the Beverly Hilton at the Mickle Institute's Global Conference. I thought that would play out over the course of years. It's terrifying to watch this play out over the course of weeks. Yes, the clear and obvious goal of Trump was to make everything blatantly corrupt. And that's why you assholes supported him. You thought this would be great and fun. Unfortunately, since Griffin is a billionaire, he feels, probably correctly, that he's in the in group for now. Thing is though, with an unstable sociopath monster like Trump, you never know when you will be in or out of favour. Kenny's just mad that Trump picked someone else to be Treasury Secretary. He wanted that job. After voting for reduced government spending, he's losing his job? One, my brother, huge Trump supporter and fan. The company he's worked for maybe 15 years essentially lives off government contracts, and they told him last week that he may have a year at the most before they have to let him go because of the cutbacks. He's never admitted that he regrets it though, but I can tell. Up to a year of warning is more than a hell of a lot of federal employees gone. Fuck this guy's brother. I mean, at most a year, so hopefully yes. Right, misinterpreted that part, my bad. Wishful thinking, they don't run out of money before 3 months. See, even then, I bet the regret won't start till it happens either. These people always think someone else will put them out of the shit. Well, there's always the lottery. See, because you never know, dear MAGA, if you win the lottery, you might be able to finally afford to own the Libs.